this is the final monthly wrap-up of 2023, which is crazy. I'm so excited for a whole new year of books to come. So I'm going to be going through all of the books that I read in December of 2023. So I read 5 books. It's not as many as I hoped to get to in the month, but at the same time, it was a crazy month. There was so much going on with the holidays and like work and everything that at one point I thought I was going to have like 3 books read. So I actually did better than I thought I was going to. So let's just jump right in. So first one I have for you. Also, a number of these books were quite chunky. So I read Hunting Adeline. Written by H.D. Carlton. This is the second book in a duology. There's Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline. There's also a little novella to go with this series called Satan's Affair, which I read last month, which was 5 stars. Haunting Adeline for me was like 4.5 stars. There was just like, which like going into this, you have to know it's very sexual books. A lot of like, it's a dark romance, so a lot of not so nice sexual stuff in this book. But we'll get back to that. I'm going to start with telling you a little bit about this book. So, this book, it's hard to talk about it without giving stuff away, but it does like happen at the beginning, I guess, even kind of the last book. So Adeline is kidnapped and ends up in the sex trade. She ends up being trafficked and living in this horrible, awful place with awful people. And she is tortured, she's R-worded, all this stuff. It's absolutely horrible. And who was once her stalker, Z, who runs like this empire basically to end women and child trafficking. So while still kind of doing that, his mission is to get Addie back, save her. So half of this book is her experience in the trafficking world and Zaid trying to save her, and then the other part of it is them seeking revenge on those who hurt her. And yeah, just wow. There's so much that goes on in this. Once again, I made my notes, which I find really helps me throughout the month to kind of keep track of my thoughts, and then helps with this video as well. So, first note, this book hooked me immediately, right off the gate. I was, absolutely into it. Was not expecting, like, her to end up in trafficking, and then, like, everything that happened with her, like, this poor girl, like, as the main character, you would think she would get a break, but nope. Oh my god, it was intense, super intense. So there's a warning at the start of this book. I just need to read to you the warning. Where is it? Okay, look at these pages, really pretty. So there was a warning at the beginning of Haunting Adeline talking about like SA and like psychological stuff. Like, it's a very dark romance, you know what I mean? But let me just read for you the important note at the start of this book. Okay. As some of you may know, the first book in this duet, Haunting Adeline, was banned due to the warnings. But it is so necessary to have one. These are also available on my website. This book contains very dark, triggering situations, such as graphic R-word. These scenes are detailed, so please proceed with caution. There are also graphic violence and gore, torture, sexual assault, kidnapping, psychological abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, explicit sexual situations, human trafficking, slave trade, grooming, severe PTSD, and very particular kinks such as blood play, knife play, degradation, and somnophilia. This book is significantly darker than the first, and the first book I thought was dark. Please take these warnings seriously. Your mental health matters. So, reading that before you get into a book. Yeah, a little scary. You guys also had warned me in the comments of my last video about this book, and yeah, you are not wrong. However, the story was so good. Again, fell in love with the story from the beginning. Like Addie's journey, her relationship with Zayd, just everything. Like as graphic as it was, I absolutely loved it. So I ended up rating this a 4.5 stars on Goodreads. You can't do that. I think I probably did it like a 4-star, but it was like just under 5-star for me, only due to like the spice, sexual levels of it. Like there's a lot of spice in it, and for me that can sometimes be a little bit too much, and so that just like bumped it down like half a point for me. But yeah, really loved this series, duology, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so the next book that I completed in this month is As Good as Dead. I promise this is the last you're gonna hear of me, at least for now, about this trilogy. It is the Good Girls Guide to Murder trilogy, written by Holly Jackson. Just gonna tell you now, it was 5 stars. Every book in this series was 5 stars, or trilogy. So this is a YA kind of murder mystery series. Each book is about like a different missing person or a murder. So the main character, her name is Pip. She's a high school student, although this takes place the summer before she goes to university. And so in the first 2 books, like she's dealt with a lot. She's solved like 2 cases. So it's very realistic in the sense that dealing with everything she's dealt with and seeing everything she's seen, and for being a teenager, like that's going to mess you up like mentally. You can't see all of that and be like fine, you know. So I wasn't expecting anything in this book to happen the way it happened. I was not expecting this book to like be as dark as it was. Like yes, the first 2 are like murder mysteries, but they were still like very cute and like kind of lighthearted-ish. But this one, like I said, like her mental health, like you could see her deteriorating, like see the struggle she was going through, and it was just like very well done. And again, did not like expect anything that happened in this book. She ends up again, I don't wanna say what happens because I don't wanna like ruin it, but it's almost similar to Hunting Adeline. She gets, I guess I can, can I don't know. I don't know if I should say this. Okay, skip ahead like 10 or 20 seconds. was not expecting that, did not think that was gonna happen. So I really can't like say too much about the synopsis of this. I'm really sorry. But wow, it was just, again, so let's look at some of my notes. Hooked in the first chapter. Like, it was such an easy read right from the start. I was loving it. Yeah, so I said I like how the books have shown a deterioration of Pip and her mental state. Can't get out of cases. What does that mean? Oh, like she is like obsessed with these cases and thinks that like solving these cases or like one more case is gonna like fix her mentally. And then what I just said happens and her priorities kind of change a little bit. Yet I didn't expect any of the turns in the story. Very unexpected storyline. Oh yeah, the last freaking page, literally the last page, I bawled my eyes out. I was finishing it on the couch sitting next to Cam, and after, like, I was fine, and then I read the last page, and then tears. He was making fun of me because of why I was crying, but it just got to me. It just got to me. 5 stars. Moving on. And we're going to be moving on to the novella of this trilogy. So this is called Kill Joy. Again, written by Holly Jackson. So, Good Girl's Guide to Murder novella. So I obviously read this last. I read the trilogy and then the novella. This was such a cute book. So it takes place before anything in the trilogy happens. So they're all still just innocent high school students, and Pip is invited to her friend's birthday party, which is a murder, like a what do you call it? Like a dinner party, murder mystery. You know what I mean? Where like you each play a different character, and like one of the characters dies, and like one of you is the killer, and it's all like fiction, you know. So this book is like a murder mystery dinner party, so no real person, no actual character in the book dies. It's this dinner party, and it was really fun to read through it, and try to figure out this dinner party mystery. Like I said, I read this last, and I think honestly you can read this either before you read the trilogy or after. I think there are pros to both. With me reading it last, there were some like little Easter eggs and like mentions of people and things that I'm like, oh yeah, like I know what happens there, I know what that means, you know, like little things like that. But on the other side of that, if you read this first, it's a very good setup for the first book. So honestly, you can't really go wrong reading it either way. But yeah, I'm not mad that I read it last. It was like just a nice little heartwarming story to kind of bring me back into it all and finish off the series really nicely. So again, 5-star, perfect little novella. So my notes, yep, super easy read, loves the little Easter eggs, could read before or after. Oh yeah, it was really weird. So obviously I have the physical copy, and let me see. This much of the book, like that's almost half of it. This is the novella, and this is a sneak peek to 2 of her other books. Like what? That's ridiculous. But anyways, yeah, 5 stars, murder mystery party. because I really wanted to read a couple this year, and thankfully I was able to. So the first one I read was The Kisser Once For Me, written by Alison Cochrane. So this is actually the first Book of the Month Club book that I have read, finally. And one or two of you have also said in my comments that this was your favorite book that you read this year, which I thought was cool. Okay, so this book is about so this is, what's her name? Her name is Ellie, and she is a graphic, she's an artist. She wants to be a animator, and she ends up spending the day and night having a one-night stand with this woman here, whose name is Jack. So they actually meet on Christmas Eve, spend the day together, yeah, like I said, have a one-night stand, but then the next morning things go wrong and she never sees her again. That's that. Until the next Christmas, Ellie, her boss ends up hiring her. They make this contract for her to be his wife, for them to literally get married so that he can get this inheritance. And she is very poor, struggling. She lost her animator job. She's in a very rough place. So if she does this, he will give her 10% of his inheritance. So they agree, and she has to go spend Christmas with this family. And his sister just so happens to be Jack, who she spent, last Christmas with, and hasn't stopped thinking about for a year. So now she has to struggle between, finding out that Jack is now, could possibly be her sister-in-law, but she's still, can't get her out of her mind, or, marrying her boss and getting hundreds of thousands of dollars to, save her life, basically. So, she's struggling with this, and also, nobody knows nobody knows, what happened last Christmas and about her relationship with Jack. So, yeah, I'm sure you can maybe guess what happens. My only thing with, rom-coms and, romances is, you can always tell how it's gonna end. From the beginning, I'm I know what's going to happen. You just don't know how things are going to lead to that, which is why, I love rom-coms, but I don't think I'm ever going to give one 5 stars. It would be very hard for me to do that. But that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy this. Again, almost every character in this book was queer, which was very cool. So if you're into queer characters, this is an amazing book for you. Overall, a super cute book. Really did enjoy it. I loved the Christmas aspects of it. So let's look at my notes. Christmas rom-com, cute, funny, again an easy read. Fake dating / fake marriage trope in this one, which I always love fake dating tropes. Oh yeah, there were lots of Taylor Swift references in this. I love Taylor Swift, so I was totally fine by that. So I rated this 3.5 stars. I don't know, I'm really, like I said, really kind of rough on rom-coms. There's nothing wrong with them, I could really enjoy it, but they're all kind of the same formula, if that makes sense. But that doesn't mean I didn't really enjoy it, because I did. Okay, the is B, and the producer of like the adult like production company, I guess, who owns that, wants to start basically, so it's called the Hope Channel, but it's basically like Hallmark movies, you know, like super fluffy, wholesome movies. He wants to start creating like more things like that, so he starts another production company to make like wholesome movies. But there's like a mix-up, and B ends up being cast as the lead in this Hope Christmas film, like super wholesome. But they don't want anyone to know that she's actually like an adult film star, because like they're like, you know, the Hope Channel is very wholesome, so she has to kind of keep that secret. And then the male lead in this Hope film is a ex like boy band member who is trying to, you know, take a different route in life. He had some incidents in the past that shed him in a not very good light, so he's kind of trying to turn a new leaf, kind of get in better graces with the public, while also he doesn't really have any money left, so he's trying to help out his family as well. But he just so happens to be a very high tier member of B's online work. So they kind of start a relationship. And yeah, that's all I will say about that. So some notes I took on this book. Yeah, one thing I didn't realize, I thought this was a standalone, but apparently there's a second book and a third one coming out, which is really interesting. Like I have no idea what they would do with it next, because this is like a Christmas book, so I wonder, cause like it takes place around Christmas, and they're filming a Christmas movie, so I don't know if the other ones are like just normal rom-coms, but that I might look into those. Yeah, it was definitely different. It was nice having a plus size, like she calls herself fat, other people call her fat in this book. I don't like that. But yeah, it was nice having a plus size character lead in a book, and then also being like an adult film star. That was like a different twist, which is honestly like what intrigued me to read this. I was really curious as to how that was going to play out. And obviously that being the case, this book was very spicy. Yeah, lots of like sex talk and very sexy scenes. I'm all for like spice in a book, but not like too much. Like if it does, like I don't need to go through the entire event, you know what I mean? Like you can get started and then you can skip to the next chapter. Like I'm okay with that. But yeah, it was expected, I guess, for this book. So I was stuck between a 3.5 star and a 4 star. I think I'm gonna go with the 4 just because of like it being different. So yeah, let's go with 4. I would recommend. So those are all the books I've read. I also wanted to note that, was it last month, when I read Normal People by Sally Rooney, you guys told me I'm not in the center. You guys told me that there's a Normal People show or series on Amazon. Yeah, it's on Amazon. And thank you so much for telling me that. I've started watching it. I'm not done it yet, but I just want to say that I appreciate so much when like film adaptations of books are accurate to the books. Like this series is exactly the book, which makes me enjoy it so much more. So that's really cool. So let's quickly do my TBR for January. So I've pulled a few books that I would like to read this month. I only have 4 just kind of want to show you guys what I'm thinking to start off the year. So the first one I have is another Book of the Month Club, just from November. So this is called This Spells Love by Kate Robb. So this is a witchy rom-com. I just love witchiness and mixed with a rom-com. Absolutely. So it says, what if one little wish changed everything? So it's not very long. It's just over 300 pages. But it seems like a fairly easy read. So a young woman tries to heal her heartbreak by casting a spell to erase her ex from her past, but wakes up in an alternate reality in which she's lost more than she wished for in this witty, whimsical Friends to Lovers debut. So again, rom-com, but like with the twist, witchy, and alternate reality. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so next book, I like choosing a range of genres for my TBRs. So the next book I chose is a thriller, mystery thriller. This is written by Riley Sager. It is called The Only One Left. Sorry, I'm kind of flying through these a little bit. I don't want the video to be too long. But this is one that's kind of blown up a little recently. This author honestly has. And I'm really excited to get to this book. So best-selling author Riley Sager returns with a deliciously twisty and addictive gothic chiller about a young caregiver assigned to work for a woman accused of a Lizzie Borden-like massacre decades earlier. That sounds really fun. Next is a series that I've been wanting to start. You guys have wanted me to start that I have to get around to. I've just been thinking about it and I need to. And that is Magnolia Parks. I'm so freaking excited to get to this series. There are currently 4 books in it, and the 5th is coming out at some point this year. Stupid little crease there. So it's written by Jessa Hastings. So this series has been described as like Gossip Girl, but in book form. So it's like, I think it's also like British as well. So how many loves do you get in a lifetime? She is beautiful, self-involved, and mildly neurotic. Oh, she is a beautiful, self-involved, and mildly neurotic London socialite. He is Britain's most photographed bad boy who broke her heart. But Magnolia Parks and BJ Ballantyne are meant to be, aren't they? So yeah, like there's like texts and stuff in this. I've even heard people have cried from this, which is like gossip, like young adults, just awesome. I don't think it actually is young adult, but like they're young adults. So I think I may start the year off with that one, and then the final book I took out is one that was on my TBR last month, but I wasn't able to get around to it, and that is Iron Flame, which is the second book in the I think it's called the Allure something series, but Fourth Wing is the first one, and Iron Flame is the second. So yeah, I really do want to get around to this, and I mentioned before, but I would love to do like a reading vlog with this, a vlog style video of me going along with it. So I'll try to do that. So it says, though Griffin riders are not capable of producing signets, which are like powers with your dragon, they are not powerless. Underestimating them is an error. I'm very excited to start this. I've heard it starts out very slow, almost like the first half, and like people have been confused in the start, but then it gets better and picks up. So very excited to get into it. I want to start this soon so that Fourth Wing is still kind of, it's not super fresh in my mind, but I don't want to read them too far apart. I don't like reading books and series too far apart from each other because I don't want to like forget what happened. So yeah, guys, that was my wrap up and TBR for the month of December 2023 and then January 2024. I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful holidays. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, and I hope you had a wonderful New Year. I hope you have an amazing 2024. I'm so excited for this channel to see what we can do this year and for you guys to come along with me on that journey. Make sure to leave some comments